Once upon a time, there was a man who lived near a big house and caught fish for the king's meals. One day, he went fishing but didn't catch anything. Just when he was about to give up, a head popped out of the water and said, "If you give me what your wife shows you at home, you'll catch plenty of fish." The man agreed, thinking it would bring him good luck. And indeed, he caught lots of fish afterward. But when he got home, his wife showed him their newborn baby. She cried when he told her about his promise, making him sad. The king heard about their sadness and decided to take care of the baby boy himself. He raised the boy as his own son. As the boy grew up, he wanted to go fishing with his father. Though the king was hesitant, he eventually agreed. They had a great day fishing until the boy realized he lost his handkerchief. He went to search for it in the boat, but the boat started moving swiftly, carrying him far away to a distant white beach where he met an old man with a long white beard. "What's this place called?" asked the young man. "It's called Whiteland," replied the old man. Then he asked the young man where he came from and what he was doing. The young man explained everything. "Well, then," said the old man, "if you keep walking along the seashore, you'll find 3 princesses. They're stuck in the ground with only their heads sticking out. The eldest will ask for your help, but ignore her and the second one. Instead, go to the third one. She'll tell you what to do, and it'll bring you good luck." When the young man reached the first princess, she begged him to help her, but he ignored her and also passed by the second princess. He went straight to the third one. "If you do what I say, you can choose one of us 3, said the princess. The young man agreed, and she explained that 3 trolls trapped them in the ground, but they used to live in the castle nearby. "Now," said the princess, "go into the castle and let the trolls beat you one night for each of us. If you can endure it, you'll set us free." "Yes, I'll try my best," said the young man. The princess instructed him to enter a small dark chamber in the castle. She told him that a troll would come to beat him, but he should use the flask hanging on the wall to heal his wounds, and then use the sword to defeat the troll. Following her instructions, he went between 2 lions at the doorway, lay down in the small chamber, and waited. That night, a troll with 3 heads and 3 rods came and beat him badly. But the young man endured it, used the flask to heal himself, and then defeated the troll with the sword. In the morning, when he went to the seashore, the princesses were out of the ground up to their waists. The next night, the same thing happened, but the troll had 6 heads and 6 rods, and he beat the young man even worse than before. But in the morning, the princesses were now out of the ground up to their knees. On the 3rd night, a troll with 9 heads and 9 rods came and beat the young man so badly that he fainted. The troll threw him against the wall, causing the flask of ointment to fall and splash all over him, making him strong again. He quickly grabbed the sword and killed the troll. The next morning, the princesses were fully out of the ground. The young man chose the youngest princess as his queen, and they lived happily together for a long time. Eventually, he wanted to visit his parents, and though his queen didn't like it, she agreed as his longing was strong. She gave him a ring that granted 2 wishes. He wished to be home and instantly appeared there. His parents were amazed at his splendid appearance. After a few days, his mother wanted him to go to the palace to show the king how great he had become. His father disagreed, but his mother insisted until he agreed. When he reached the palace, he looked more splendid than the other king, which made the other king jealous. He challenged the young king, saying his queen wasn't as pretty as his. The young king wished his queen to be there, and in an instant she appeared. But she was very sad and said, "Why didn't you remember what I told you and only listen to your father? Now I must go home, and you've wasted both your wishes." Then she tied a ring with her name on it in his hair and wished herself home. The young king felt very sad and spent every day thinking only of how to get back to his queen. "I'll try to find Whiteland," he thought, and set out into the world. After walking for a while, he reached a mountain where he met a man who could control all the animals in the forest with a horn. The king asked where Whiteland was. "I don't know," said the man, "but I'll ask my animals." He blew his horn and asked them, but none knew. So the man gave the king a pair of snowshoes. "Wear these," he said, "and you'll reach my brother who controls all the birds in the air. Ask him. Then, when you're there, turn the shoes so the toes point back, and they'll come back on their own." The king followed the instructions and returned to the man's brother. He asked all the birds if they knew where Whiteland was, but none did. Finally, an old eagle, who had been gone for 10 years, arrived, but even he didn't know. "All right," said the man, "I'll lend you another pair of snowshoes. Wear them, and you'll reach my brother, who controls all the fish in the sea. Ask him, but remember to turn the shoes around." The king thanked him, wore the shoes, and reached the brother who controlled the fish. After asking again about Whiteland, he turned the shoes around and returned. He asked the fish, but none knew except for an old pike. The pike said, "Yes, I know Whiteland well. I've been a cook there for 10 years. Tomorrow morning, I have to return because the queen, whose king is away, will marry someone else." The man gave the king advice, saying that nearby stood 3 brothers who fought over a hat, a cloak, and a pair of boots. With these items, one could become invisible and travel anywhere with a wish. The king thanked him and went to the brothers. "What are you fighting about?" he asked. "Let me try these things, and then I'll decide." They agreed, and the king got the hat, cloak, and boots. He promised to decide next time and wished himself away. While flying through the air, he met the north wind. "Where are you going?" asked the north wind. "To Whiteland," said the king, explaining what happened. "Well," said the north wind, "you'll arrive faster than me. When you get there, wait on the stairs by the door. I'll come in, and when the prince comes out, grab him, and I'll take him away." Just as the north wind said, the king waited on the stairs. When the north wind arrived, roaring and shaking the castle, the prince came out to see what was happening. The king grabbed him by the neck and threw him out, and the north wind carried him away. Once the prince was gone, the king entered the castle. At first, the queen didn't recognize him because he looked thin and pale from his long, sorrowful journey. But when she saw her ring, she was overjoyed. Then they had the rightful wedding, which became famous everywhere.